Okay, very good morning, sir. I'm Karthik. I'm the senior sub-editor of Indian Textile Journal. To start with the interview, I just need a brief introduction of what Trident Pneumatics is into, and take us through the journey over the years.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Karthik, and thanks to Indian Textile Journal for calling me in for this interview. Trident Pneumatics is a 3-decade plus old company. We started in 1988, and we have been working on area of removing anything from air. So that has been our technology, basic technology, which with all our products are built. We are in the market only on the compressed air, doing something out of it. Right. So we started with what's called automatic drain valves in 1988, which removes liquid, that is water trapped in compressed air lines. It just drains it.
Okay.
From there, we progressed in the middle of 90s or towards the end of 90s, we went into removing moisture vapor from compressed air. These are called air dryers. So they remove from compressed air. Now what you have in front of you, you are sitting in your house in a humid room. There's a lot of moisture in the air. Similarly, air compressor comes in a pipeline which goes to machines, and the moisture in that needs to be removed. So that is one contaminant. So that we started in 1998, or air dryers.
Okay.
Then we went on specific application. These were used in industries. At that time itself, we were on with textiles. Textile machines use a lot of compressed air. And progressively, as the machines got sophisticated, it could not just take any compressed air. Like you go to a petrol bunk and simply fill compressor, from the compressed air, you fill your tire. That's okay to fill a tire. But the same compressor, the same compressed air is not fit for a textile machine. The moisture will plug all the small orifices inside the sophisticated machine and it will stop. So you need an air dryer. Then by mid 2000, we went into air filtration also. So we started making microfilters. So these are 0.1, 0.0101 micron filters, which will remove particles. So there can be particles from pipeline, which also offers problem to the machines. So we removed particles. Along with the particles, we also removed oil droplets, which was also a pain, which comes from the compressor, and the machines can't take it. So these are the three core contaminants which needed to be removed: oil, moisture, dust, and we did that. And by 2010, with this platform, we could deliver pretty much anything for any pressure of compressed air, starting from 7 bar used in machines to high pressures. And then we the applications took us into certain areas, like we became very reliable product makers. So locomotive manufacturers from US and India started looking at our air dryers and filtration for their locomotives. So today in Indian Railway, if a train is running, even in Mumbai or EMUs, when the brake is applied, the compressed air goes across all the coaches and it breaks. If it has moisture, oil, dust, it will have problems for the braking circuit. So we filter that. It's a mobile application. It sits in the locomotive and travels.
Okay, very good.
Then we got into similar one for defense. We do for high pressures up to 400 bar for missile launchers in ships. And then we got into this, could remove all these things. Then we started making air fit for medical use. So this is where our ventilator feed air, which removes moisture, oil, and bacteria also. So when you feed into a ventilator of a patient, you need to be sure that there is no bacteria going in. Otherwise, already he is a patient, he is weak. So, and your ventilator and the feed should not contain those harmful bacteria. So we did that, and we are one of the big players in the US market for compressed air going into hospital airlines. So this is our background of products up to 2000, say up to 2015. Then at that time we started work. 2015. Then the journey started into splitting air. Now the air in front of you has oxygen, nitrogen, and other gases. What what is right in front of you, what you're breathing.
Right.
So it has 21% oxygen. So we have plants, machines which can split this air and take the oxygen alone. And that is what we are using for our oxygen generators in hospitals. One of the first products we went in was for aircraft. So in fighter aircraft, we worked with Indian Defense DRDO, Bangalore, and we developed the first life support system for a pilot in the India's indigenous Tejas fighter aircraft. So at that altitude, the fighter pilot has a face mask which needs to be fed with oxygen. So the rarefied atmospheric air is taken, split, and then produce oxygen. So that was our first high reliability, high quality product for aerospace grade, and that to defense and for life support. So it is the highest of safety and reliability. And then the journey continued to doing that for hospitals. So we make hospital sized plants. So you keep one plant outside the hospital, it produces enough oxygen for supplying an entire hospital. So this has been the journey, and then a bit of the other part, I will come to it later.
Sure.
So this is a journey from 1988 till today.
Okay. So you've already answered my next question actually. How is Trident Pneumatics helping government bodies in the fight against COVID? Do you need to add anything apart from this?
Yes, COVID. I need to add something on COVID. COVID requires oxygen, right? Because COVID is a respiratory problem. The virus attacks the respiratory system. So you need to, the patients normally recover themselves. So they are kept in a place where they get comfortable. And if they don't, the next stage is just give oxygen. And then the next stage is ventilator. So the last two stages require oxygen. And for COVID preparedness, we have worked with DRDO for hospital applications in many places in Northeast. We are supplying because Northeast has less road connectivity. To buy cylinders, it's more difficult. So we have large installations now in Northeast for hospitals. We are also working with them for remote defense hospitals where it's very difficult to take transport cylinders. In cities, we are so used to taking lorries delivering everything. That is difficult. So we have. And one more point on the COVID preparedness is that the air which is fed to the ventilator also has to be needed to be treated with bacteria and moisture removed. This we do well with our medical breathing air product. It's highly accepted in US. We have large exports now during this COVID phase for the US market. For India, the breathing air package is a bit low. We expect it to pick up. It's not yet started. So in US, we are a big player now for this case.
Very nice. Due to COVID pandemic, are you seeing a rise in demand for medical oxygen plants? And how are you meeting this growing demand?
We do see two parts of COVID pandemic. COVID pandemic brought about realization of importance of reliable oxygen supply. So especially in remote areas, in secondary areas, we are always looking at big cities. Nothing is a problem in big city because you are well connected, you have all the wherewithal to get anything what you want. But in tier 2 and beyond, that's where medical response is required. COVID has opened up a lot of awareness, and physical requirement has been quantified. We have also been working with hospitals to see how much you require as oxygen, and we do see an increase in demand for oxygen plants in various places, remote and tier 2, apart from the cities. And the question is, are we meeting the growing demand? That is something. Our factory opened up a bit early in the end April. We got special permission because DRDO, there is a defense, came and said, yeah, you be prepared. Maybe. So we opened ahead, and then we also had our vendors, our state, we asked for permission, they give permission for vendors also, and fabrication vendors, valve vendors, all of them also had a head start of about 20 days. So we are very well prepared, and we turned out big machines in a matter of a week's time, 3 of them. So we have been able to address it.
Okay. So like you, sorry, sir. Yeah, go on. Sir. Yeah.
Yeah, one more thing which I forgot, it's not about factory alone. When you look at a plant, the biggest problem is to have the technicians reach the facilities. Now we have 3 large installations which went yesterday to Guwahati. Now,
Right, sir.
in normal times, we could have just sent somebody by train flight from Delhi or Coimbatore, where we have people all over India, in Calcutta also. Now, travel is difficult. So we have a large network. We have one in Guwahati also. We have trained with this plant with video like what you're doing now. So they
Right,
will
sir.
be able to install, commission, and continuously support the machines. So this is our strength.
Right. So, like you said, transporting was one of the challenges which you faced. What are the other challenges that you faced after starting your manufacturing facility, and how are you handling these challenges?
Okay. Now the challenge is still pertaining to transport. So when we
Right.
opened up, we found that our employees couldn't come. I'm talking about early May, when all the e-passes and inter-district cut off, and if you travel 100 kilometers from here in Coimbatore, if somebody, there are people who are stuck 40 kilometers away because they are next district, they are still not reported. They could not get e-pass. So these type of problems are still there. On the products that sort of getting released, but outside, our employees coming from other states are not been able to report to work.
Right.
Then the material problem we had a lot of problems with logistics, inward logistics inside the country started late. We couldn't get it on time, but we had some inventory, so we could get going.
Right, sir.
Outside, we had exports, as I said, US market, where getting containers were difficult. So that was difficult. And we do get some integrated circuits, something from air freight from various countries, and they all got stuck. We couldn't clear any of them. So all those things started coming out only by middle of May. So logistics was a problem, and travel of people. And of course, without telling, freight cost, people capitalized on it. Freight costs simply went high. You said it's an opportunity. Air freight costs are too much.
Right. So what about the labor issues?
Got resolved because we are not as let's say like a textile or some other industry. We are not labor intensive. We are an engineering unit, so we had skilled workers, and they are sort of around 400-500 kilometers has been our radius of our factory workforce.
Right.
Our service and sales people, we have employees all over the country, so they really didn't we don't have problems there. Only we had some cases of key employees getting stuck in other countries, like someone, key service personnel to commission this oxygen plant got stuck in Nepal. So those started getting resolved now only.
Right. So, which industries are the major users of compressed air treatment products, and what do you bring to the table to the customers?
See, all industries today use compressed air. Compressed air is a source of operating a machine for automation. As much as electricity today, it goes into everybody's head. If there is a machine or even any device, you need to plug it in somewhere, including the phone or what. Smallest gadget also requires electricity. But when you step into a factory, almost all the machines require compressed air. So who are our customers? Our customers would be all industries which have manufacturing. We have hospitals now which are not manufacturing but which uses air for ventilators and patient feed. And then several types of mobile vehicles like our ships, locomotives, trucks. We are not in the truck market, but trucks, of course, air brakes, you'll see it everywhere.
Right, sir.
And then we have pharma, power sector. These are the major areas. For us, the key would be textile, locomotives, pharma, power, engineering, and of course now is food. Food is a major industry.
Right. So, talking about the period before COVID, which product of yours experienced higher growth?
Okay. Now, on the previous question, I missed out. You asked me what we bring to the table for the customers. See, for all these customers, today, no product is made by one company. There are others who are as good. And then there are competition is global. What we bring to the table, Indian industry is still fighting for competitiveness. So when you look at textile, it is It is about how efficiently they convert the input into output. So they are very sensitive to about energy, about downtime, that is reliability, energy, and if it's down, how quickly we put it back. That is maintainability. So we are working on all these three things, and this is what we serve to our customer. This is our key differentiator. And how was the growth before the COVID, right?
Right, sir.
Given our segmental approach, as a company, we are in multiple segments. Like we have the standard products which goes to general industry, like automobile, pharma, textiles, and so on. In this, some of the segments, like we were fortunate to have customers who grew, though the segment did not grow. Like we did well in textiles. We had a lot of weaving customers. More than spinning, suddenly we had a lot of weaving customers who were independent of the market growth. People were telling market is bad, but these mills were doing well. So, we had that leverage. And then we had locomotives, which are infrastructures, which really drove our which was good for business. So on the whole, compressed air treatment has grown on the pre-COVID.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So as you said, textile is one of the major focus industries for Trident Pneumatics. So how are you catering to the textile industry, and what is driving the demand in this industry?
See, textile industry, we talk about compressed air. We know I would be better off on talking about compressed air, but textile industry, what we say is that people are telling that it is having competition from several other countries. Things are going to this country, that country, but predominantly companies which are working well have been on these three points that our reach is through, we are well known with OEMs because we do offer the value for OEMs, in terms of what I told earlier, reliability. So we have an access through OEMs, consultants, and we have a direct network all over India, sales network, so by which we are able to access and we are accepted. And the key driver we still focus on, even today we are working on, is to how to bring down the energy cost for the machines. So our key driving demand in textile industry, yes, textile industry, we have segments which are looking up, and we do cater to them by talking these points, energy.
Right.
Yeah.
So as you know, recently the government has announced various schemes for the betterment of the industries to tide over COVID. So will it lead to gains for Indian companies and in Trident Pneumatics in particular?
See this ANBA scheme, Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan scheme,
yes, sir.
which is self-reliant, right? I think it's a long drawn process because nobody jumps at it immediately. We still have a lot of doubts because for this COVID, we did see some tender. Some of the government hospitals go through tender, even though it's long drawn. So they have specified European standards. Even though we have Indian developed standard approved by Indian Defense, they still want an European standard, which is not relevant. So I think it's deep seated to look somewhere else for products. So this mission of self-reliant will have to set in. Only the central government has started. I hope it sets in quickly. And then will it help us to make us globally good? That is the biggest challenge. In fact, if you are damn good, it doesn't need, you will automatically be self-reliant. If our product are best in the world, nobody would, my customer 100 kilometers away will not look at China or anywhere else. He will just automatically come to our product. So we are not very competitive yet. We need to do a lot of work on being competitive. Our nation, our tax process, all these processes are too complicated, and that doesn't make us very competitive. And hence this thing of India becoming a manufacturing hub, I think we still have a long distance to go. And I'm really not, this is from my viewpoint, not necessarily an expert who is good at policy making.
Right. So any new products that you are currently working on?
Okay, I left the last bit when I gave the intro on the timeline. So we split air. So our story of air, love with air continues. So we split
Right, sir.
air and we generate oxygen, and the air has 79% nitrogen.
Right, sir.
So we are putting our faith, as I said earlier, that we are looking at food market. So food processing is very underserved industry in India.
Okay.
All of us eat simple food. We just buy it, we make our own batter, and then we make food. In Western world, it's all packaged and done, convenience food. So the
Right, sir.
life of food gets longer when you pack it with nitrogen. So we can split nitrogen from air, and then this nitrogen is used to flush packets, food packets. Like what you see, the most obvious thing is the chips packet. Some of the chips packet you see it puffy, so that's filled with nitrogen. So the shelf
Right, sir.
life increases.
Right,
So
sir.
in food industry, nitrogen is going to be the next one. So the shelf life goes up. The hygiene of the food is very much improved. By the time it reaches the consumer, it is still hygienic. It doesn't deteriorate. Uh,
Right, sir.
so we have products we are working on, small size nitrogen generators, which will go to small food packages, food packaging, processed food, not like US complete processed food, but even in our level, you have the dosa batter and so
Right,
many
sir.
other things are coming. First step is happening. So we will
Right,
be
sir.
there. And then we are high on high reliability, high safety products. So we have some products on safety for railways, and we are continuously working on making our product speak with the internet. We are also, many of our products are on IoT platform, so they are on
Right,
Internet of Things. So these are
right,
what we are working on the new product front.
right, sir. As you know, automation and digital, like Industry 4.0 is increasing across industries. How is automation important for Trident Pneumatics right now at present?
See, we are a machine supplier. So as a
Right,
machine supplier, we look at automation two ways. One is automation is very important for our factory because
right,
we
sir.
have to be competitive, we have to be consistent with our quality, we have to keep paying increased wages to people.
Right, sir.
People have, all the employees have aspirations, and if you keep on doing the same level of productivity, you can't meet the uh, aspiration of people. So we need to automate it to get higher productivity, higher quality, higher level. That is for automation compulsorily happening inside the factory of Trident. We are
Right, sir.
upbeat about it, and we are working on a lot of areas where assembly automation, which is difficult, but we are working on it.
Very
Some
good, sir.
products we have automated. But as a product supplier, our products have to be a part of an automation scheme in a factory. So when I
Right, sir.
supply an air dryer to a textile mill, if you look at a mill layout, there'll be one room which will be sort of disconnected from the mill section, and there'll be a compressor, all the utilities, compressor, generator, air dryers will be there. The mill itself has production monitoring system, productivity, all the products are connected to automation. So we also
Right,
have to provide data, and we have to enable their process of automation so they can run the entire unit automated. So our products
right.
have to be having the ability to communicate with them to do that.
True, true. Absolutely true, sir.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
are you seeing any emerging trends in the textile industry that you intend to tap?
Uh, Emerging trend, I don't know, in textile there is a lot of emerging trends. A lot
Okay.
of trends in textile per se, converting yarn to cotton to yarn, yarn to fabric. But from
Right,
our
sir.
viewpoint, our role is limited to supplying air. So what is the
Right,
emerging trend is one is maintainability, a part of automation. Our machines has to be advanced to talk with all the other advanced textile machine or their centralized monitoring system.
right,
So
sir.
that has to be there. And textile is, as you know, it's a efficiency is a key focus. They look at efficiency and quality. Uh, we are constant. Our goal of making it energy efficient works well for the textiles. And being a cyclic industry, textile always sees some ups and downs. Currently, we are looking up at weaving, which is doing well for us.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, most of the companies, and as you know, have recalibrated their growth strategies due to COVID. So, what are your growth plans for the company right now?
Our growth plans for the company are market, because our product and is technology based. We are on a specific technology area. of working on air. So we said we split, we give it to food, we give oxygen, nitrogen. We even have something for defense, for nuclear, biological, chemical warfare. We can split those contaminants and supply clean air for breathing. From our viewpoint, this technology happens. So our growth strategy has a lot of work on markets. So we do work on other markets, other OEMs. Like US is a key market where we are working on the medical side. We are not working on the industry side. Well, the world is big. Other countries have their own regulatory. So we are working on each country on each style. So our strategy is to look at improved technology and newer markets. And COVID strategy, it is too early for us to. We are just utilizing some feedback. We are getting some opportunities like oxygen generators. There is no specific strategy for post-COVID. It's too early for us to look at it. Something sales is down and sales is up for the last 2 months. So we will know whether we'll have a new strategy only after maybe 2 or 3 months down the line.
Absolutely. So which are those stronger export markets right now for Trident right now?
Yeah, our export markets are for industrial products. We are strong on Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, all the countries, Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Thailand. And the medical, we are working extensively in US, Canada market. So that's a big market for us.
So as you said, you're planning to tap in new markets. Which other markets are you planning like right now?
Europe is a big market which we have not yet been successful. We are looking at some partners and some specific products.
Okay. So I'm done with my questions. You need to add anything else?
Nothing else. I think it has been a very comprehensive set of questions. And I think these are the set of questions I would be competent to answer, which I may not be the right person to ask.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for giving us a precious time, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good day, sir.